Hi, Matt. This is Trisha from Burley. I've heard about some shenanigans in the House that I wanted to rant to you about. Glenita Zeiderfeld wrote in her Substack last week about how House leadership has told her that if a bill comes through with her name on it, it wouldn't be heard. And I know that she's not the only legislator who has been told this by House leadership. And the leadership and these legislators are all pledge signers, and they're all in good standing. I find it really frustrating that people who are supposed to be liberty-minded and serving their constituents are playing these silly games and infighting when they should be working together. If it was from a left-leaning Republican or a Democrat, that makes more sense. But when they're liberty-minded, pledge signers, in good standing, the only people that hurt from these kind of silly games are us, the people of Idaho. I know that we haven't seen a grocery tax repeal bill yet because of this House leader and these legislators. So just wanted to share that with you. Didn't know if you knew that or not. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, folks, you can leave us your message. Thank you, Trisha from Burley. We'll talk about her remarks here in just a second. But if you want to call 208-402-4915, if you've got a rant. She said that was her rant, and she was very pleasant. I like Trisha. She's very, very reasonable. What do you think, Brian? She sounded very reasonable.
It was a very reasonable rant. I'd like to hear more rants like that.
Yeah, too. Keep your blood pressure down. All right, folks. Yeah, please send in your voicemails. We'll play them on the air here. Yeah, Brian, it's the issue that just won't die. It's the biggest political football, it seems like, in Idaho, although there's a lot of political footballs here. But when it comes to the more conservative wing of the legislature, this grocery tax thing is just absolutely incredible. I'm still trying to get my bearings straight because, we've seen over the years different tactics on trying to repeal grocery tax. It made it through the legislature all the way to the governor's desk where the governor vetoed it. I don't know exactly what that bill looked like or what his reasoning was for it, or if there's a bill sitting in committee now that is not being heard yet, if that's almost the exact same bill. I don't know these details, because I know that when if you do just flat out repeal the grocery tax bill, you have to do a lot of things to make cities and counties and other places that receive sales tax money, you have to make them whole somehow. Or they're on their own to just cut their own budgets, right? Which is, I'm all for that too, right? Just cutting back waste and spending. But you have to be prepared for it, right? And you have to get cities and everybody prepared for a tightening of the belt. So I'm curious to know if any of your research, if you've seen any of these various bills that have repealed sales. I've seen some that are just extremely short. Just repeal it wholesale. Food shall not be taxed based on these parameters. And I've seen ones that are 6 pages long that deal with how much a percentage here and how much from the general fund you have to move and all this stuff. Anything that you've seen from any of the bills over the years that makes sense to you?
Yeah. So like you said, in 2017, the legislature passed a bill that would eliminate sales taxes on groceries. As part of that, it also got rid of what's people call the grocery sales tax. It wasn't called that at first. It was called that later, but my research says it was commonly understood as being a way of reimbursing people for the taxes they pay on groceries. That was 2017. The governor vetoed it. He did it actually after the statutory deadline, but the Supreme Court gave him essentially a mulligan, says, you're okay just this once. So that frustrated a lot of people. So people have been trying ever since to get something through. And usually the bills had both those things: eliminate sales taxes on groceries and eliminate the grocery sales tax credit. What they're trying now, Senator Zeiderfeld, Glenita Zeiderfeld from Twin Falls, posted on her Substack last night a couple pages of the draft bill that they would like to see, but leadership is not allowing to be heard in committee. They're not even allowing it a print hearing. And as readers probably know, bills, until they're introduced in the print hearing, are the personal property of the legislator who drafted them. Reporters are not supposed to be able to sneak them out and see get a sneak peek. But sometimes legislators will, of their own accord, choose to share it with people to, show them what's going on. And so that's what she's done here. And what this one does is it creates a new section in Idaho code to say that food for human consumption is exempted from sales tax. Now, there are exceptions. basically defines it outsources to the federal government how food is defined, saying that whatever SNAP says is food is food. So if the federal government were to say that soda and candy were no longer food, then I presume they would not be exempted as taxes from sales taxes here, which, RFK Jr. might just do that. It also has other exceptions. So if this bill were to pass, you would still have pay taxes on food in restaurants, food that's heated or mixed by the seller, food that's provided with a fork by the seller. It's kind of little things, fork, plate, knife, spoon, glass, cup, napkin, or straw. But that's basically the same language that's been in past bills. So they're just using the same language. However, the bill does not include a repeal of the grocery tax credit. I think people, this is just my speculation, I think people have looked at the numbers and where the political willpower is. Somebody like me, I get more back from the grocery tax credit than my family pays in groceries. And there are other families like that. So if they were to eliminate taxes on groceries and eliminate the sales tax credit or the grocery tax credit, I would actually pay more. And that would be fine with me because I'd be paying my fair share. Right now, I'm getting a subsidy back. There's a little bit of redistribution going on.
Oh, I see, Brian. Okay, wait, hold on, real quick. So you currently receive, based on your own calculations, when you take the credit, you receive a little bit more back than you actually paid into the system.
Correct.
So if they were to get rid of the grocery tax, and the credit, you would actually. I mean, do you lose money, or you just wouldn't get that extra money that you normally get? I mean, how does that?
Yeah. So right now I pay 6% taxes on everything, including groceries.
Right.
And so that's 6% of, 6 cents on every dollar. Then at the end of the year, though, when I file my taxes, which I need to do this week, I will be getting $120 per person in my household. And with 5 children, that's a chunk of change. And it's actually more. So I get reimbursed more than what I actually paid. Okay. So if they got rid of
people that normally have expected, I get, we're going to get an extra $100 back this year overall, right? Let's say it's $100 or $200 back because they don't spend that much money at the grocery store for their family, and they're claiming the credit. They're going to be like, I don't have that money anymore. I can't depend on that money.
Families that expect to see 120 if you're single, or 240 if you're just a married couple, or if you're a family of 4, that's $480 back. 2 parents, 2 children. That's a little chunk of change that people might be used to getting back. And so I think the political calculation is to say, well, this year we're just going to try to get rid of the tax and leave the credit. That way we're not. It's not going to look to people like we're actually raising their taxes. And we got to remember, you and I and most of the people watching this are politically engaged. We know how things work, or we know how to find out how things work. A lot of people out there, they're just going about their lives, and what's happening in the state house and in politics it's far away. And I think there is a worry that for those people who they want to see taxes gone on groceries. But if you get rid of the credit too, then they're going to come in with the pitchforks and the torches and say, "Hey, why are you raising my taxes? I'm used to getting this back."
Right. So. I mean, again, this is not. And look, I mean, as we go along over the years with this, it's obviously not as cut and dry as it seems, because we didn't even get into the fact that we have to make the cities whole. I mean, if the cities have budgets and things that they're expecting to get from sales tax. And look, cities and counties, they need to tighten their belts as well. I'm not advocating for more, for more spending or anything like that. But it just seems like it's why this issue is so contentious. If it was just that simple, it'd be gone by now, because all it's doing right now, in my estimation, is creating a lot of noise, a lot of headaches. And it could have devastating ramifications down the line when there's so much on the line. There is so much on the line, Alman. I mean, we talk about it on this program every day. There's different bills that come through. I hear different stories. I hear different emails. I'm talking to people all over the state. I mean, I may be based up here in North Idaho, but I talk to people all over the state, and I'm taking the temperatures of everything. And if I can wave a magic wand, I would, but I don't have that magic wand. Yeah. And we gotta take our wins, and we gotta move the ball forward. I'm all for that. But we gotta do it. We gotta do it responsibly too. So I don't know what the answer is yet, but we're gonna get there, Alman. I have faith. You gotta have faith.
I agree. I was just going to mention that Senator Zeiderfeld's draft bill does include an increase of the amount of revenues that are given to cities through this revenue sharing fund. So they do have to address that. But yeah, this is an issue that a lot of people just are fixated on, making this the hill to die on, the hill to live and die on. And, while I do also share the frustration that leadership is not hearing this bill, I prefer open and honest and transparent debate whenever possible. At the same time, I don't think we can get hung up on this because, like you said, there are so many other things, so many other balls in the air, so many other possibilities for good things coming out of this legislative session, and I want to make sure those good things happen.
Yeah, I do too, Alman. I do too. So we'll keep talking with our folks. We'll keep everybody on the line. I like to say we ride together, folks, and we do. We are going to keep this coalition of good. I mean, Tricia was right from Burley, man. These are our Liberty legislators. These are our good standing pledge signers. We'll get through it. I've got faith. All right, Alman, let everybody know where we can follow you this week.
All right, gemstatechronicle.com. I wrote an article, published just this morning about the Convention of States. That's getting a lot of people talking. It's a very passionate issue people have, so go there and read that, and let me know what you think. At GemStateBrian on Twitter.
Fantastic. All right, Brian. Well, we'll check back in with you tomorrow. See you, brother.